Well, he's going to help. He's going to help irregardless. I mean, he's going to be good. He's getting better all the time. I mean, he's made progress in the last couple of things that we've done, and he's dealing with a little under the weather situation the last couple of days, and he's come out and battled in that. So he is making improvement. He's gaining confidence. There's no question that when we signed him, he has to change his on-court personality and become a more vocal, emotion-filled. I mean, there's got to be more of that. But he's a very hard worker with a lot of upside. He's been well coached and can do a lot of different things. And when he just lets it come out naturally on the floor, he's pretty good with it. But this is a really important time for him, starting with tomorrow night and throughout this entire non-conference season, to really gain that confidence that he needs, because he's got the credibility now as a hard worker in practice. He's got the credibility of a guy that they respect to go to battle with on the court, and now he's got to bring that into against the opponent.
Have you seen the freshman improve since practice one to where you guys are now?
Considerably. I would say considerably. Yogi Ferrell is continues to get better and rarely looks like a freshman. And that's not just my view. That's other people that come in that have an educated view of this, of seeing basketball and seeing other teams, and they see it that way. We can do a lot of things with them. We haven't even really started to tap into the playbook yet. It'll sound trite, but it's true. I mean, there's no question. As a coach, I feel we're behind offensively, but I mean that'll come. That'll come in time. But I mean, he can do a lot of different things with the ball. But he has been outstanding in practice defensively and playing with edge and using his vision. And I think the fact that he's added strength has really helped him. And I think the fact that, I mean, there's rarely a day that he's not out there with the 365-day club, which is really what some of those guys are. When you start looking at Jordan and Will and Victor, and he's joining that group, and sometimes they're the 365-day, two-a-days type guys, and he's advancing. So it's fun to watch him.
What do you think when Christian comes to you and says he wants to wear 32 tomorrow night?
When I thought about it, I thought it was an incredibly noble gesture. I really did, and he was dead serious about it. I wasn't sure he was serious about it at the beginning, but this was over the weekend. And first I had to make sure it was legal. And again, we're gonna make sure we look at that. But I mean, it is, and I think it's pretty special. I think it goes to show how close these guys are in ways that we wouldn't even imagine. So I wouldn't have thought of that. And I think that's great.
Coach, what do you feel? What have you been voicing to the team is the most important thing to focus on in this game?
I don't think it's that. I think there's no one thing. There's no one thing at all, and there never will be. It's if you got to put something at the top of the umbrella, it's constant improvement. So that's where it's at. But there's so many different things that go into it, and it would be too simple than to just say, hey, let's go out and play hard. Right, let's go out and compete. There's a lot of things that go into it. We want to keep advancing constantly. So in answer to your question, I would just say that we have to keep improving on a daily basis, and the games are no different.
What impresses you about Bryant? Just what did they do, I guess?
Well, we let it off with how well they run. They're really good in transition. Francis is excellent. He averaged 17 and 8, I think it was. He's a matchup problem. He's quick. He gets to the basket. They've added some players to go with the guys like Dobbs that they had from before. So they've gotten better and better. I mean, Tim O'Shea's a very good coach. He's coached at a very high level when it was the Big East with Boston College and at Ohio U. And so they're making strides. And but I think they want to get out and play. And they've got a couple guys that can really create offense. So that's what we've got to be focused on. Our transition D's got to be excellent. Our half-court D's got to be excellent. And we got to get out and really, really run the floor.
Maurice says he feels like he's a coach now, and he said that was part of the way you kept him into the program when he could have maybe got lost. Can you talk a little bit about how you try to keep your players that are rehabbing into the program?
Well, I think everybody's got responsibilities. Everybody's got a role, and it's always been like that. That goes back to the days at Marquette when Dwayne Wade was our first sit-out. and he had responsibilities in a game, and sometimes would have responsibilities at halftime, and you just learn. I mean, you learn that sometimes by trial and error, but you got to keep everybody engaged, and that's part of having a family atmosphere. That's part of building a mutual respect, but it's most important. Everybody has got to feel like they have a valuable role. And even when it's not a visible role, even when it's not the most crucial role, even when it's not the highlight reel role, I mean, it's a role. And that's what we're always trying to build. And if Maurice feels like that, that's really good. And I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to be holding him to that with decision-making and talking on the defensive end. So I like that, though. I like that. He's been through an awful lot. So he could write a book on adversity. There's no doubt about that.
Anything else?
You mentioned that there are sort of conventional and unconventional solutions to the players being out in the front court. Does this opportunity against Bryant, where they maybe don't have a lot of size, help with experimenting with those unconventional?
No, we're not experimenting. There's no. I played a lot of different lineups in the exhibition game, but there's no experimenting. I mean, we're trying to win, and we're trying to win big. I mean, we're not going out there to feel our way through situations. Now, feeling your way through the game on who plays, absolutely. But this game is no different. And a coach is not worth his salt. I mean, there's games that are bigger than others because of the name and because of the time of the year. But there's no game that's bigger than another for a coach, because they all count the same, and you got to get your team convinced of that. And we're going out there to play well, and we're going out there to play hard, and we're going out there to play the entire 40 minutes, and that's how it's going to be coached. So with that being said, you just keep moving with what the game gives you, and you keep trying to dictate as much of the game as you can.